for the mighty leadership that he has given and for the service that he gives to his constituents in Philadelphia. And I accept his challenge, and I accept the challenge of my chairman, Cedric Richmond, who told a story that hopefully will be an inspiration and a guide for all of those who believe that they are not yet mature enough to serve, to give, to offer to the beloved community that Dr. King so aptly speaks of. What can I say about John Lewis, whose moral guidance, but whose bloody brow was never bowed? I thank you, Congressman Lewis, for the straight talk, but the loving talk. To my colleagues that are here, I know that each will have a moment, so allow me to take just a moment to be able to offer my tribute in commemoration of Dr. King's life. But what a powerful year we face in 2018. And I'm so grateful to have left 2017. And I believe that this gives a fresh look to America. I looked at the movie Titans, and maybe you saw that with Denzel Washington, and it reflected a racial conflict with football players just outside of Washington and Virginia. It's a moving story of how if you get young people together, we can break the chains of racism and differences. It brought tears to my eyes because 2017, we went that journey again, and I was hoping that we would come in this year, the commemoration year, to accept Dr. King's challenge of a beloved community. I salute my community of Houston. Some say there was no civil rights movement, and I beg to differ with them. Dr. King came one time, and the clergy gathered. Most of them gathered those who were afraid. We know that most were not. They were all ready to have the big rally, and wouldn't you know it, a bomb threat. But our Houstonians were ready to march and to be out front in spite of the fear of a bomb. I bet you that every community that Dr. King was either invited to or that they went to, there were people of courage who were willing to stand up and embrace freedom in the face of devastating potential disaster. So let me just say that my greatest claim for this legacy is my fight as a younger person to be part of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. It will be my greatest honor to have been able to work for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, to walk in that office on Auburn that I believe may not be, to meet Ralph David Abernathy because it was after the death of Dr. King, to know James Orange, and to know the brother that walked with the wooden leg, and to know Andy in a way that they were still engaged in Dr. King's work. And I'm reminded of the message that he's given to us. And as Chairman Richmond said, he was young, and he asked the question, life's most persistent and nagging question, he said, is what are you doing for others? And I think we as members of the Congressional Black Caucus and the adjunct of the foundation that works for young people, we have no doubt in what we're doing for others. But Dr. King gave us the words I'd like somebody to mention as he talked about his death on February 4th, 1968. This is what we should be doing in 2018. We should be talking about what we are doing in commemoration. I'd like somebody to mention on that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. And he said, I want you to say on that day that I might have lost my life, that I did try in my life to love and serve humanity. So as I close, I want to remind those of us who have not yet made our journey to something that brought us closer to Dr. King, that this body, this group of Republicans and Democrats, this administration, we need to unshackle ourselves. This question of race needs to be thrown under the bus of the beloved community, and we need to be able to dream like Dr. King did and say, but he learned to use his imagination when he saw this separation, and his dreams to see right through it, white-only signs to see the reality that all men and women, regardless of their place of origin, their gender, or their creed, are created equal. What a visionary. And so I close with his braveness in 2 points. One, his answer to the question about who are we as a nation and what this citizenship should mean. And he simply turned us back to the Declaration of Independence and said that we simply should have citizens that can live out the words written in its Declaration of Independence to have a place in this nation's Bill of Rights. We simply want to be like others. And he took this courage to his death. For at the end of his death, he was not ashamed to go to Riverside Church and stand against the Vietnam War. While others look aghast, afraid, why are you stepping out of your box? Dr. King said that I believe in the beloved community, a dreamer with works and actions. And so I close in that faithful journey that he made, that we will be commemorating, all converging on Memphis, Tennessee, and the American Federation of Municipal Workers, who were forged and born in the shadow of 2 sanitation workers that were killed in the line of their duty, and Dr. King felt compelled to be there. When do we feel compelled? On the tax bill, on the CHIPS, on federally qualified health care, on affirmative action. When are we taking this, in essence, to the mat? Because that's what Dr. King did. He took it to the mat. And he went to the mat in the face of violence. And he told us in his last words that he had been to the mountaintop. He had seen the promised land. And he did not know if he would get there someday, but he knew that we as a people would find a way to that pathway. I thank the gentleman for yielding to me, and I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.